G'day, mates. We back. We got some more Fire Emblem Heroes content today, and we have this double Special Heroes banner, as you can see on your screen. This just dropped today, and for some reason there's this goofy little ghost over here. I don't know what's going on with that. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at these colors here. Let's see if this is actually a good banner. Oh wow, there's only one 4-star demote here? Right? Yeah, wow, there's actually only one demote unit on this banner. Usually they'll have 2 demotes, but okay, I mean, that only makes the banner a little bit better. So, alright, let's break down each color and let's see which ones are the best and if this banner is worth summoning on. And spoiler alert, guys, I would say this is actually a pretty good banner. This might be like one of the best Special Heroes banner we've ever had. So, starting off with red, we have Kaden Lindy, of course, accompanied by Ninja Camilla. 2 really awesome red units. You can't really go wrong with either of them. So, Kaden Lindy has the amazing support effect, where she grants herself and allies into spaces, the null follow-up effect, and also the ability to just bypass terrain. So, infantry units can move through trees, and cavalry units can move through trenches, and they're not going to take any movement penalty from doing so. So just a really, really goddamn good support unit to have on a team, and she's a pretty solid damage dealer. I'm actually a little unimpressed by her damage, though. I'll admit to that much. I've had a lot of instances where she's failed to get KOs because she doesn't really have enough protection. I would say she has Remote Sparrow, which gives her 30% DR when she initiates, but with how hard the units hit nowadays, and given the fact that a lot of units just nullify DR straight up, it's really rare that this unit can actually survive the counter hit to attack the enemies twice in a row, unless we're talking about giving her brave attacks like Dual Strike from Catria, or not Catria, Dual Strike from Cordelia, or Triangle Attack from Catria, or whatever it may be. That's really where you're going to get the most value out of this unit offensively, but just off the null follow-up and terrain impasse support already, I would say that gives them enough value. They have a harmonic skill that grants Resonant Blades, Dodge, and Special Ramp to all allies from the same titles. So, not like the craziest harmonic skill, but not a bad one by any means. And like we already mentioned, they have Remote Sparrow, which is pretty solid fodder. And they also have Defense and Res Smoke 3, which is, out of nowhere, became my favorite of the smoke, like, gold border smoke skills, I would say. It seems to be, like, the most, how do I even put this, like, the most relevant one when you're actually attacking, because stuff like Speed Smoke 4 and Attack Smoke, they're really awesome, but you would like to get their secondary effects immediately, as opposed to having to enter combat, like dodge or the extra stats and defense and stuff. But this one gives your unit Pathfinder, which is actually pretty helpful in the long run and can allow your other units to mount a good offense. So I do like that skill pretty much for anybody. Okay, then of course Ninja Camilla. Not really much to be said about her. Y'all already know she's pretty dumb. Unless you've got like Fire Sweep or Hardy Bearing or whatever, good luck initiating on this unit. Now, there's a lot of units that can initiate on her and survive. If you got a lot of res and you're blue, then your odds are pretty good. But for the most part, like most of the offensive units have a really difficult time dealing with this Camilla. So she's a pretty awesome unit to have around. Definitely not a bad unit for red. Okay, then we have blue, and I don't even know what the hell this unit is doing on this banner. This unit is from like a million years ago, so it's kind of weird that they showed up here. They are color sharing with Byleth, of course, so that's interesting there. The only 4-star on the banner. So is this unit any good? I would say no. I've never liked this unit. Even when they came out, I thought they were really underpowered. Their duo skill grants null follow-up to themselves and allies in 2 spaces, and also, let's see here, also gives them Times Pulse as well. That's not too bad. The Times Pulse is nice, and it is a reusable duo skill, which, again, that's pretty nice. There's not too many duo skills that happen to be reusable, but they really don't offer much. You look at this weapon, and It's like one paragraph, bro. Come on. Okay, now, just for comparison's sake, let's take a look at Elise over here. And her weapon is basically like 2 paragraphs. Or we go over to this guy here, and he's got a freaking graphic novel for his weapons. So, it just goes to show where the game is right now and how crazy these weapon effects have become. So, I've never really been the biggest fan of this unit. I don't think they're all that great. For fodder, they don't really have anything either. They have Dragon's Wrath, which was exclusive to them for quite a while, but now that we have the level 4 version, there's a lot of other units that have this. So blue, not really in the best spot. This Kaden Byleth is actually a really good merge project, believe it or not. As far as 4-star demotes go, he's definitely in the running for like the best 4-star on a seasonal banner ever. It's like him and the New Year Pan, and also the Summer Claude. Like, units of that caliber, I would say, are in a league of their own. Also, the baby Rebecca, I think, is pretty good. So this Byleth definitely has some cool things about him, even though he is a 4-star demote. And his fodder is pretty solid, too, for a demote. He's got a Speed and Res finish level 3 and lull Speed and Res 3. So those could be decent good skills to get on your other guys, especially Speed and Res finish if the level 4 version is something you want to get, but it's not a desirable stat spread combo, I would say. You'd rather go for like attack and speed or maybe defense and res. Like the truly focused ones on offense and defense, I think, are a little bit more worth your while. So blue, I would say blue is the weakest color, but even saying that, it's not like an awful color. There's still some decent stuff you can get out of it. So we move on to green up next. We have this Leo over here. Surprisingly, an amazing unit thanks to his weapon effect here. So if he's got more res and he's in cardinal directions of the enemy, he basically just gives them the middle finger at the start of the turn. Inflicts defense and res -7 and gravity on those foes. Gravity is so powerful to be doing at the start of the turn like this. So this Leo can actually put in a lot of work if you have him, and his res stat is pretty good, so he's able to really make good use of this effect here on his weapon. He's not a bad fighter either. He's got like true damage, and he's got some DR to give him protection. He's got -1 special trigger, all stats of 5, so you can definitely get a lot of mileage out of this Leo. He also has solid fodder with remote mirror and also a far trace skill. So, not a bad unit by any means. He is accompanied on green by Elm over here. Elm is setting out to be the cutest male unit in the game, apparently. So, here is Cutie Pie Elm. He has a really good fodder skill here. He has Beast and Trace, which I think this is a really good skill for the Heron Dancers in particular. It allows them to just transform regardless of what units they're next to. And then it also gives them Kanto Rem +1. So your Racins and your Leannes, they'll be able to move 3 spaces, and they'll be able to dance, and then Kanto themselves out of the way. So a really potent skill on units like that. Also, it's really good on Nasala and Tibarn units, because they can just fly in real easy and just go ahead and activate Gale Force by attacking something, and also have Kanto in the process. So really nice stuff there. He's not a bad fighter himself, honestly. This Elm is got a pretty strong weapon, to be honest. So what does he have? -1 special trigger. We got attack and speed up 6. We get half and null follow-up. We get true damage based on speed. And then we also have DR on top of that. Yeah, this dude does a lot of stuff, man. He's pretty stacked, right? So even though he wasn't like a super hype unit on the banner he came out, I think he's still a pretty solid unit. Probably in the same boat as Leo. Like, these two are kind of underrated. And then finally, on the colorless pool, we have the duo Elise and Sakura. And then we also have Triandra here, the one from the Bunny banner. So, this unit is pretty busted. This Elise and Sakura, they're like one of my favorite cavalry units in the game right now. Where do I even begin with them? So, they have Return Plus, probably the best healer assist. They have Holy Pressure, which is inheritable if you want to use that for fodder. They have Poetic Justice. I think we got one other unit that had this. I can't remember who it was, though. Was it the Fallen Maria who had this? I think it might have been. But all I know is that this skill is no longer seasonal locked. But still, there's only like 2 units that have it. So wouldn't be a bad idea to pick it up. And then, of course, Odd Recovery. Both, even in Odd Recovery, amazing skills for these healers. So their weapon is pretty bonkers as well. They have -1 special trigger, attacking speed up 6, half a null follow-up, special ramping, and after combat, they inflict flash on the target and foes in 2 spaces. The flash effect is really mean that they have that. So a lot of units in the game right now, like, let's say Fallen Byleth, for example, are very, very reliant on being able to counterattack. So if you can just turn that off and prevent them from counterattacking, you can just annihilate a ton of units in the game. This Camilla as well, if you can stop her from counterattacking, she's not a threat anymore. So just a really insane unit. And of course their duo skill is no exception to that. They grant dominance and they do it better than Micaiah does, because they can do it in 3 rows and 3 columns as opposed to just 3 columns like Micaiah. And then they also inflict defense and res -7. Same thing as Micaiah, but better. And they score in the 200 bin with this duo skill. So they're probably the best unit on the banner, honestly. Like, out of everything here, I know Lindy is really good, but I get so much mileage out of this Elise, it's ridiculous. And then finally, the last unit on the banner, Bunny Triandra, who is basically just a revamped version of regular Triandra. She has this penalty doubler on her dance effect. Whenever she dances a target, then she can inflict penalty doubler and panic, and also she gets attack and speed up 6 when she enters combat. I don't know why you'd ever want to fight with her, but actually, I guess Triandra is one of the harder hitting dancers. Yeah, like the regular Triandra can surprisingly get KOs if you're not too careful. So I guess, sure, Triandra can fight, sort of. But really what you want her for is just the dancing and the debuffing on the enemies when she does that. And her dance effect is still pretty good, just doing all stats -3 and inflicting guard. Combos really nicely with the panic and the penalty doubler on her weapon. And then she has really good fodder too. She has Firestorm Dance 3, which is basically a must on any dancer if you're going to be running a dancer. So the strategy here would be to pick up this unit and then fodder her off to any of your rearmed heroes, because the dance skills can be inherited on any unit in the entire game. They have no restrictions. So whoever you want to give it to, just give it to them, and then they can pass it around like free cheese on all your other characters. So that would be the idea with that. And then defense and res hold, it's not bad, I guess. Again, not a bad unit for flyers if they want to just debuff enemies for your other allies to take advantage of, or themselves. So colorless is really good. Of course, I would say probably colorless is in first place, followed by red and then green, and last place is blue, unfortunately. But overall, this is a really, really solid banner. If you're looking to summon on this banner, I don't really think you're going wrong here, depending on what you're trying to pick up. At the very least, if you don't have any of these units, I would say the top priorities, of course, would be Elise and Kaden Lindy. So that's going to wrap us up for the breakdown. I'm just going to go ahead and do my freebie here and see if we can get lucky. Okay, we got a lot of green to show up. Let's go ahead and hit green, see if we can get lucky here. All right, nope. No luck whatsoever. I did free pull, actually, Hater on the new Mythic banner, though. With one of my tickets, I was able to get Hater. I can quickly show you guys that, I guess. So, yeah, I used up all my free pull luck already. Yeah, I didn't even bother leveling her up yet. I'll get to it eventually. I even free pulled her with plus attack, too, which is pretty baller. But I'll get around to leveling her up and getting her ready for action in just a sec. But that's going to wrap us up for this video, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think of the double special banner for this month. And are you going to be summoning? If you are, let me know which color you're going to be sniping for and which unit you're trying to get. And this is your boy Tacho signing out. So take care, fellas. And I'll catch y'all again on the flip side.